This is the George Hibbert Driver collection. George Hibbert Driver was a member of the Amherst class of 1900. He got his master's at Amherst in 1904. He got a Bachelor of Divinity from Yale Divinity School in 1905. And he was a poet as well as theologian and preacher his entire life. Driver self-published and wrote thousands of poems. In this one, you'll see this one book called A Fair of Poems, which he self-published. And here's actually a signed copy. But he self-published this book in 1958. This collection includes the original manuscript copy of A Fair of Poems. So if you go page by page, you'll see that Driver had basically, here's what he wanted to be on the jacket, individual pages, and he had created this entire manuscript which was going to become A Fair of Poems. So if you go through this book, this manuscript copy, it gives rich information as well as writing in the margins on how he wanted his works to be presented. In addition, Driver made thousands of notes in these workbooks. These include something called DOE, which is Driver's own encyclopedia, and here you have the letter H, L, M, 2, 3, etc. I've made notations along some of these blue margins, but basically these are Driver's extensive personal notes on his readings and on his writings. Here's a gem of a poem. He wrote Harvard Divinity School in Triumph. He was known as the Poet Laureate of Harvard Divinity School, and this is a poem that he wrote for their 1955 dinner in their alumni assembly in January of 1955. I have notations also of significant events in Driver's life, which have these post-its. Here's the gift. He gifted to Harvard College a copy of both books, a copy of 2 essays that he had written, The Doctrine of the Holy Spirit, as well as Anne Hutchinson's Exponent of the Spirit, which can still be found online on Harvard's Hollis library catalog. So each of these books are workbooks, and I think form the foundation of many of his writings, both as a preacher, theologian, and poet. And here again, here's how he explains the beauty of my DOE is I can use my own pleasure in the entries. So this is a rich history of one of Amherst's favorite sons. This is his workbook of poetry. Here you'll see I've made dozens of notations of very sort of significant poems that are unpublished. This literally Clouds in the Sun, Revere View. For a man of New England, this is something that I think will be very advantageous and beautiful for Amherst to have. Here's the Harvard Divinity School in Triumph, but also a Harvard hymn on the back of this. So these are fragile documents, as you can tell. Here's a poem he wrote for Yale, Illustrious Yale, and these are the actual the original poem in his own writing, and this actually has multiple revisions with crossouts of how he wanted his work to be presented. So it'd be interesting to see the draft copy of Illustrious Yale, both in loose leaf as well as on the printed page, and compare it to the final version that is in A Fair of Poems. Driver also wrote numerous poems for various clubs with which he was associated. So if you see here, the Golden Anniversary, he attended these exercises, and right here, Pilgrim Club 50-year paean by George Hibbert Driver. So the notations in the margins would be a bonanza for any research scholar. Again, these are just some of the blue post-its that I've made, which when I was going through these works, it would be helpful for any scholar who wanted to learn more about George Hibbert Driver. He's got the notebooks and also this homilistic notes, a book of poetry. And here I didn't put any blue tabs because Driver himself has tabs on multiple issues: Roman Catholicism, women, ministry, church, truth, life, Holy Spirit Bible, topics for reading and writing, etc. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing these documents reside at the Amherst College, the Frost Library, named after Robert Frost. And the Robert Frost Library, the foundation for that library, was inaugurated actually by the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy, in 1963. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.